Hey, 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 this is Natasha, and I'm super excited to be speaking with the editor and in chief of Pulse Spikes. We are speaking, or I'm rather, I'm speaking with Anna Zhang. How are you?
Good, how are you?
Good, good, good. So, you, Miss Thing, are so young, but you do so much. Can you first, I guess, just do a rundown of like everything that you do?
Okay, to start off, I am the editor-in-chief of Pulse Spikes, like you mentioned. Pulse Spikes is an online and quarterly print magazine covering the fields of fashion, entertainment, and lifestyle, and pretty much anything that's relevant to the young audience. And next, I guess I'm a very creative person all in all. Not only do I creative direct the shoots for the magazine, I'm also a photographer myself. And I've done a bunch of social media campaigns and work creating digital content for brands. And on top of that, I worked with Covenant House on our new project titled Ignite, which takes form of a book and online platform. And the platform just shares stories about young people who are experiencing hardships or all issues that are relevant to adolescence and what we think is important for adolescents to know in the current age. And I don't know if you know this actually, but I'm also very passionate about science. So in school, I also do a bunch of research on the topic of Alzheimer's and wearable technologies. So that's kind of a quick rundown.
Absolutely. Okay. So now, what did you feel was missing in the editorial or magazine space where for specifically for the youth that you kind of created Pulse Spikes?
Well, if you think about it this way, a lot of the magazines that are currently available for teens or are called teen magazines are managed by an editorial team whose ages range from 30, 20s, 30s to 40s and even more and even older. And they're creating content that's for teens, which is kind of this disconnect because there's the editorial team who isn't going through exactly what a teen currently is going through, so they might not know exactly what stories appeal to their current readers. And so that's kind of the divide that I found, and which is why I thought it was important to create a magazine that is especially made by young people for young people.
Wonderful. And what has been, I guess, the greatest lesson that you've learned so far as an entrepreneur creating this magazine?
To always continue working, even if you encounter any obstacles or difficulties, especially at the beginning of starting the magazine. It was very hard to find talents and find a team who would be interested in helping me make this idea come into fruition, which is very odd for someone so young to have a team and to be working with talents that other adults might even not have the chance to. So it's all about the dedication and the hard work going into it, even if you can't see right around the corner the success.
Wonderful advice, absolutely. Now, how did you go about recruiting? Because yeah, I can't even. I remember I was very ambitious as well at 16, but I wasn't running my own magazine. So, tell me, how did you go about like finding the talent?
So for our team, well, I started off doing a lot of work on Instagram, and there's this huge community of creative people on Instagram sharing their work as artwork, photographers, writers, makeup artists, and that's kind of where this team came about in the first place. A lot of people that I could reach through social media who were in LA, which a lot of our shoots occur in LA, and in New
Mhm.
York, people that you might not have access to if it was not for social media. So that's kind of where it spans off.
Mm. Awesome. So social media has been played a major role. Okay, wonderful.
Mhm.
And so, can you elaborate a little bit about your work with the Covenant House? What got you started with creating that?
So we created a social good project titled Ignite, and Ignite is both an online platform and book, so it allows it to reach audience from all around the world and to also receive community submissions, so all the content remains genuine and authentic. So the
Mhm.
book, which is one part of the project, which is both a book and an online platform, the book is has stories written by young talents such as Chloe Lucasiak, who is on Dance Moms, and Cameron Boyce, who is a Disney star in Descendants. And
Mhm.
so we have all of these talents who have a very strong presence in the young community, and they're writing about stories that they think really affect adolescents today. So it's stories with impact such as self-love, anti-bullying, and the LGBT community that we think more young people need to hear about and to understand.
Wonderful. That is really, really cool. Now, what was the like what sparked you wanting to create this and have that like conversation to even younger people?
Well, I guess it's very similar to why I created Pulse Spikes also because you have adults a lot of the time who don't exactly think or consider what young people say because we're many times we're disregarded and our thoughts are thought as just being rude or ignorant, whereas we actually as young people have this incredible power to create change and to ignite change and to create conversations in our community to create change.
Now, when it comes to the magazine work that I'm involved with, I currently see a lot of missing opportunities for people of color and also just diverse bodies and stuff like that. How do have you addressed that with Pulse Spikes?
So we want to feature anyone who has an interesting story. And one of the things is that we do want to feature everyone from people of color to the Asian community, which is also very underrepresented in especially in the entertainment industry. So we have stories such as Nathan Adrian, who was an Olympic gold medalist swimmer, who also has an incredible story and his background, as well as Ebony Williams, who is an incredible dancer of color, and she actually created her own line of dancewear for people of color. So all skin types are addressed, and everyone feels comfortable in their own skin and as well as in her new dancewear so everyone can be a united community.
Wonderful, wonderful. Okay. So now at 16 years old, like I started the interview, I really feel like you do so much. And, I think you do more than like two to three, maybe four adults put together, right? And so I'm dying to know, how do you like stay motivated to really still put that effort and time into your passion while also having to like keep up with schoolwork and God forbid sleep, right? Or spend time with family.
So I think it's because this is my passion. I'm not doing it for a paycheck, and neither is anyone on our team. This is all volunteer work. So we're doing this because we're actually interested in it. We're passionate about it, not for that paycheck, which I think is a little bit different from other magazines. Though it's all volunteer based and it's very inclusive. Our community, we really want to promote all things creative. We want to provide that platform to help other people will develop their portfolio or help them gain connections and help them create. So I think it's because of this passion that I have for it and the drive. I think it just kind of your passion just overcomes like any obstacles in your way, and all you can kind of focus on is what is happening next and what is happening present, but also what is happening next and where do I see this going, and this is all driven by that passion.
Mm. So, what has been, I guess, some of the biggest challenges that you face while doing everything that you do?
Well, I think one thing is definitely age. It
Hmm.
is kind of uncommon for someone so young to be in this media space, but I also actually well, there's age in the technicalities of it, as
Hmm.
in when I started off, I wanted to cover concerts, and some of the concert venues nearby in New York City were 16 and older, and I was 13 at the time. So there's the actual technicalities of it, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then there's also, I guess, the fact that adults might look down on you or just not believe that you're doing all of this, that they think that you can't be doing all of this because you're still in high school. But it's kind of, once again, that determination and that drive and that passion that still makes it work no matter what.
Wonderful. Now, what words of wisdom do you have for young people who are struggling to figure out what they should be doing in their life? What are extracurriculars or passions that they should have? Like, what would you tell them?
I would say to always go out of your comfort zone. And
Mm.
in a way that you're trying new things, I would always say that you should try something new every single month. So go out and maybe volunteer at a local charity or even talk to someone that you might normally just pass on the streets where or pass in the hallways in school and not have a conversation, but you can learn so much from each other and from stepping outside of your comfort zone and doing new things. And there's so much growth potential in that area where you're outside of your comfort zone, but not necessarily in your panic zone. But that middle area is like where you can grow the most. So I think that's probably my best suggestion, just to try something new and to push
Mhm.
yourself a little bit out of your comfort zone.
Okay. And what seems very interesting is how big entrepreneurship has been for the past like 5 to 10 years. It's like really like, everyone and anyone, right, is an
Mhm.
entrepreneur or bustling entrepreneur, and especially even kids. I don't know if you pay attention to like Gary Vaynerchuk's content that he puts out, but he definitely does a lot of content regarding like youth entrepreneurs and stuff like that. Would you recommend entrepreneurship for other people like your age? And if so, why?
I feel like some aspects of entrepreneurship, you have to have that drive. First of all, you definitely have to have found that passion
Mhm.
and the passion that really drives you, because if you don't have that drive, you're going to encounter these hardships and obstacles in your path, in your entrepreneurial path, and it'll be really hard to get over those obstacles if there isn't that drive and that passion and fire behind all of it. So I think if you're very passionate about something and you have a new idea, or you have an idea that you think can build upon pre-existing works, I think definitely to give it a try and just to kind of experiment, not necessarily always stay in your comfort zone again, to go out, experiment, maybe network, meet new people, and see how you can really build what you love into something greater.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, what is next for you? What are there certain like projects, collaborations that people should be on the lookout for?
Well, as a junior in high school, I do all the junior things, take the SAT, take all of
Yeah.
the AP courses. So there's
Yeah.
that. But I'm also the ambassador for the Project for Women and the Project for Girls, which is a girl empowerment platform that shares stories on women with the means of inspiring and motivating women. And so we've been working together to produce content with the means of inspiring other women, and we are currently working on a project which I cannot say much about, but be on the lookout for that. It'll be really exciting, and I'm hoping that we'll be able to share that really soon.
Very, very cool. Okay. So how can people support Pulse Spikes or the Ignite project? Tell people what where they should go to support everything that you're doing.
So social media is great for starting conversations. So if you have any interests or anything you want to see in the magazine, feel free to send us an email or even comment on a post. And also, we have a online magazine as well. So it's a lot of the all of the content is available for free online, so you can go take a look at it and see what interests you. And then
Mhm.
for the Ignite platform, we're accepting community-based submissions on a rolling basis. So if you have an idea or a story that you want to share about any topic you think that affects adolescents, I think it's important, and I think you should definitely send us an email or submit through the submission form, and we would love to share your story and just create more change and create that conversation.
Awesome. Anna, you are amazing. I hope there's a book, or books rather, on coming about you, because I think that you yourself are a walking, talking source of inspiration. And I really I admire what you're doing, and I commend you for staying motivated and pursuing your passions, like you said, and really showing young people and us older people that we can do what we want to do.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me, and you as well.
Thank you. All right. Talk to you soon.